The world applauds the visible. It celebrates triumphs, achievements, smiles that light up a room, and the bravado of those who appear unshakable. Yet beneath this carefully curated facade lies a silent reality, a reality few ever acknowledge. There are battles fought quietly, without applause, without recognition, without anyone standing by to witness the struggle. These battles do not make a person weak, they make them human. They are the quiet storms raging inside the mind, the unseen weights pressing on the chest, the relentless waves of doubt, fear, and exhaustion that no one else can see. Imagine a person walking through a crowded street. On the surface, they appear composed, perhaps even confident. They smile politely at strangers, respond to greetings, and keep pace with the rhythm of the city. But inside, their mind is a battlefield. Every step is a negotiation with anxiety. Every interaction, a careful performance, masking exhaustion. The world labels such a person as weak or fragile, because their suffering is not visible. What society fails to understand is that the effort it takes to simply exist while carrying invisible burdens is extraordinary. We are conditioned to measure strength by what we can see: outward success, resilience under scrutiny, the ability to push through physical and social demands. But human strength is not only in what is visible, it is also in the unseen. Jung described the shadow, the hidden, unacknowledged parts of ourselves that we deny or suppress. These shadows contain fears, insecurities, and past wounds. Yet they also contain the potential for growth, self-awareness, and profound strength. Carrying them does not make someone weak. It makes someone courageous enough to exist while wrestling with their hidden self. There is a subtle terror in carrying battles alone. Depression whispers that no one could understand. Anxiety convinces that any expression of vulnerability will lead to judgment or rejection. Trauma etches deep lines in the psyche, shaping thoughts, reactions, and emotions in ways that are invisible to the outside observer. Yet within this struggle, there is also a quiet resilience, a strength not measured in accolades or recognition, but in endurance, in the courage to face each day despite the heaviness within. Consider the metaphor of an ocean beneath a calm surface. To the casual observer, the sea appears peaceful, steady, unremarkable. Yet below the surface, massive currents swirl, turbulent and complex, shaping the ocean's essence in ways the eye cannot perceive. Human beings are oceans of this kind, dynamic, deep, and often tumultuous internally, even when our outer lives suggest tranquility. To mistake a calm exterior for the absence of struggle is to misunderstand the very nature of human existence. We are told to be strong, to carry on, to snap out of it. But these directives ignore the invisible nature of many struggles. There are no external markers, no measurable symptoms that fit neatly into the expectations of others. What is seen is a composed exterior. What is unseen is the relentless negotiation with internal chaos. And yet, there is something profoundly heroic in simply enduring these battles. It requires courage to wake up each day, to face the world, and to maintain the semblance of normalcy while carrying what no one else can bear witness to. Life has a way of romanticizing visible strength while ignoring the quiet resilience required to survive invisible struggles. Nietzsche once wrote that suffering is a forge, shaping the character of those who endure it. And Viktor Frankl reminded us that meaning is often found precisely in the suffering we cannot escape but can transform. In acknowledging that hidden battles exist, we recognize not weakness, but courage. We see the quiet heroism in those who fight wars that no one else can see. This is not merely a psychological concept, it is a human truth. Everyone carries burdens. Some are physical, some emotional, some rooted in past trauma, others in existential uncertainty. The weight of these battles often remains hidden, yet they shape every thought, every emotion, every choice. The challenge, and the paradox, is that the very invisibility of these struggles amplifies their intensity. There is no external validation, no applause, no acknowledgement, only the individual and their journey through the storm. As we begin to explore this theme, pause for a moment and consider your own unseen battles. Reflect on the silent struggles carried by those around you. There is a profound courage in acknowledging that life can be both beautiful and unbearably heavy at the same time. Recognizing the weight of hidden struggles does not diminish your strength. It illuminates it. In the coming sections, we will dive deeper into the philosophical and psychological roots of these invisible battles, revealing not only why they exist, but also how they shape resilience, growth, and the very essence of who we are. The journey from feeling weak to understanding strength begins with recognition. It begins with the realization that the battles you carry, unseen by others, are a testament to endurance, courage, and human complexity. The world may not see the weight you bear, but acknowledging it yourself is the first step toward transforming it into a source of profound strength. And in that transformation lies the promise of hope, meaning, and a deeper understanding of the self. The battles we carry are not arbitrary. They are shaped by the deepest structures of the human mind, the shadows of our past, and the invisible currents of meaning that guide our existence. To truly understand why someone might feel weak despite outward appearances of strength, we must explore the philosophical and psychological roots of these hidden struggles. We must ask, why do these burdens exist, and what do they reveal about the human condition? Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, a part of ourselves that we repress, deny, or fail to recognize. It is composed of the emotions, desires, and fears that society tells us to hide, the parts of our psyche that are deemed unacceptable, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. The shadow is not inherently evil or weak, it is essential. It contains both our wounds and our potential. By suppressing it, we expend immense energy maintaining an illusion of perfection or strength. This invisible effort manifests as exhaustion, anxiety, or a quiet despair that no one can see. Recognizing the shadow is the first step toward reclaiming the energy that goes into hiding it. It is here, in the acceptance of these hidden dimensions, that we begin to transform invisible suffering into conscious growth. Nietzsche described suffering as a forge, a place where the human spirit is tempered and strengthened. To endure hardships silently is not a mark of deficiency. It is a testament to resilience. Yet the modern world often misreads this silence as weakness. We live in a culture that equates visibility with value. Visible achievements, visible effort, visible triumphs. The internal struggles, the quiet endurance, the mental and emotional labor, these are rarely acknowledged. Yet they form the hidden scaffolding upon which character, wisdom, and inner strength are built. By reframing internal battles as a form of courage rather than weakness, we begin to dismantle the cultural illusion that equates struggle with failure. Our internal experiences often stand in stark contrast to the external world. This duality creates tension, a tension between what is visible and what is real, what is expected and what is endured. Anxiety, depression, and trauma operate in this unseen domain, shaping our thoughts and behaviors in ways that are invisible to observers. A person may appear composed, even accomplished, while internally wrestling with relentless turmoil. This disconnect is not a flaw. It is the nature of human complexity. The unseen struggles are as real, if not more real, than any external achievement. Understanding this duality is crucial for developing self-compassion and empathy. Viktor Frankl, in his reflections on surviving unimaginable suffering, emphasized that meaning arises not from comfort or ease, but from the act of enduring and confronting what life imposes. Invisible battles, though isolating and exhausting, carry the seeds of profound insight. They reveal what matters most, illuminate the contours of our character, and force us to confront truths that the world often prefers to ignore. By engaging with these struggles consciously, rather than hiding from them, we transform them into opportunities for growth. The invisible weight we bear becomes a guide, shaping decisions, values, and our understanding of self. Consider the daily patterns of human struggle. Many of us move through life suppressing small, persistent anxieties, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood. Others carry deep-seated trauma, remnants of experiences long past but never fully processed. Still others contend with existential uncertainty, the knowledge that life is fleeting, that meaning is not guaranteed, and that suffering is an inherent part of existence. These battles are not always dramatic or visible, yet they consume mental and emotional resources. The effort to navigate ordinary life while carrying these invisible burdens is a form of heroism that rarely receives acknowledgement. Psychologically, these hidden battles often manifest in subtle ways: fatigue, irritability, difficulty focusing, and a persistent feeling of being overwhelmed. We may misinterpret these symptoms as personal failure, laziness, or inadequacy. Yet from a philosophical perspective, they are indicators of the profound labor required to manage internal chaos. They are signals of a mind negotiating with itself, of a spirit engaging with the weight of existence. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward understanding that what feels like weakness is often strength disguised as struggle. The social dimension of hidden battles compounds the challenge. Society often demands performance and consistency, leaving little room for vulnerability. Sharing invisible struggles is frequently met with dismissal or discomfort. This creates a feedback loop. The individual hides their burden, the world misinterprets the silence, and the sense of isolation deepens. Philosophically, this mirrors the tension between the internal and external worlds that thinkers like Jung and Frankl describe, a tension between the authentic self and the expectations imposed by society. Navigating this tension is part of the human journey, a process that, while painful, ultimately builds depth, resilience, and self-awareness. Stories illuminate this reality more powerfully than theory alone. Consider the person who appears to manage every responsibility with grace, yet at night wrestles with memories that refuse to fade. Or the professional who excels publicly but silently endures anxiety that grips their every decision. These narratives illustrate a universal truth. The magnitude of unseen battles is often incomprehensible to those who observe only the surface. And yet, these hidden struggles carry a profound value. They cultivate empathy, patience, and insight. They forge a kind of strength that visible triumphs alone cannot. In acknowledging hidden struggles, we are called to reframe the language of human experience. We shift from labeling ourselves or others as weak, broken, or deficient, and instead recognize courage, endurance, and resilience. Invisible battles are not proof of inadequacy. They are proof of existence. They are the quiet evidence that a person continues to move through life, to engage with meaning, and to confront challenges that the world cannot see. This perspective transforms not only how we view ourselves, but also how we relate to others. We cultivate compassion, patience, and respect for the unseen labor that every individual carries. Ultimately, the core of understanding hidden struggles lies in embracing paradox. Human life is both beautiful and painful. Strength is found not in the absence of suffering, but in the conscious engagement with it. The battles we carry silently are a testament to resilience, endurance, and the capacity for transformation. By recognizing this, we lay the groundwork for the emotional breakthrough that awaits in the next section, a space where hidden struggles are no longer burdens, but sources of profound insight and growth. The realization that hidden battles are not a mark of weakness, but a testament to courage is the turning point of our journey. It is here that we begin to see the weight we carry in a new light, not as a burden to be ashamed of, but as evidence of resilience, depth, and profound humanity. Transformation begins when we stop fighting against the reality of our struggles and start engaging with them consciously, acknowledging their presence and their meaning. Imagine standing in the dark, feeling the oppressive weight of anxiety or grief pressing on your chest. Every inhale feels heavy, every thought a negotiation with unseen forces. For years, you may have believed that strength means never feeling weak, never faltering, never showing cracks. Yet the truth, as Viktor Frankl reminds us, is that meaning often arises precisely through engagement with suffering. To endure is not merely to survive, it is to create significance from struggle. In this moment of understanding, the invisible weight we bear transforms. It becomes not a chain, but a guide, pointing toward awareness, resilience, and self-realization. Carl Jung described this process as confronting the shadow, the unacknowledged parts of the psyche that harbor both fear and potential. Transformation is not about erasing the darkness, but illuminating it. The shadows we carry, the anxieties, the regrets, the trauma, contain insights about who we are, what we value, and how we relate to the world. By embracing these aspects, we stop expending energy hiding, resisting, or denying them. Instead, we reclaim that energy to live with authenticity and courage. The internal battle remains, but it is no longer invisible in its significance. It becomes a source of power, a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. Consider the metaphor of a blacksmith forging steel. The metal must pass through fire, pressure, and hammering before it becomes strong. The process is neither painless nor easy. Yet without this intense shaping, the steel remains soft, pliable, and fragile. Our unseen struggles act in a similar fashion. The internal storms, the sleepless nights, the moments of despair, they temper character, deepen empathy, and cultivate inner strength. Transformation arises not by avoiding the fire, but by moving through it, recognizing that every trial endured adds resilience, wisdom, and depth to the self. This process is not abstract. It manifests in daily life. A person who acknowledges their anxiety may learn to pause, breathe, and act despite fear. Someone who confronts past trauma may develop compassion for themselves and others. The quiet resilience built through invisible struggle allows a person to face challenges with clarity and presence. They no longer need external validation to measure their worth. The knowledge that they continue to exist, to move forward, and to endure becomes validation in itself. In this way, hidden battles are not only reframed, they become foundations for strength that is invisible to others, but undeniable to oneself. Transformation also requires reframing our perception of suffering itself. Nietzsche observed that those who have endured suffering often possess a depth of insight unavailable to those who have lived only in comfort. The invisible battles we carry sharpen perception, refine judgment, and cultivate humility. We begin to see that life is neither fair nor easy, and that this reality is not a punishment but an opportunity to discover the courage that already resides within us. Every quiet struggle faced with awareness, every silent night endured with patience, becomes an act of quiet heroism. In practical terms, this transformation often begins with self-compassion. Recognizing the humanity in one's struggles, speaking gently to oneself, and allowing space for vulnerability are not signs of weakness. They are the acts of strength that begin the shift from burden to empowerment. Mindfulness, reflection, journaling, and seeking supportive connections provide avenues for engaging with hidden struggles constructively. Philosophical reflection deepens the impact, showing that suffering is not meaningless, but a path toward insight, authenticity, and resilience. We also find transformation in narrative. The stories of individuals who endure invisible battles illuminate the universality of this experience. Consider the person who works tirelessly while carrying grief from loss, the individual navigating social pressures while managing anxiety, or the creative mind haunted by self-doubt yet producing profound art. Each of these narratives exemplifies the shift from perceived weakness to authentic strength, showing that endurance and courage are inseparable from the invisible struggles that shape us. Cinematically, the transformation is experienced as a release, a moment of clarity after tension. The heart races with the recognition that the internal weight has not diminished, but the meaning of that weight has changed. What once felt like a chain now feels like a mantle of resilience. The storms inside no longer define fragility, they define fortitude. The internal dialogue shifts. I am not weak for feeling this. I am strong because I continue, because I face this, because I endure. The rhythm of this section mirrors the emotional journey. Moments of heavy, almost suffocating tension, followed by brief pauses, reflective beats, and statements of clarity. Short, impactful sentences punctuate the narrative, emphasizing the profundity of realization. The cinematic cadence mirrors the inner process, allowing the audience to feel the weight of struggle and the release of understanding simultaneously. Finally, transformation encompasses both acceptance and action. Acceptance allows us to stop resisting our internal reality. Action empowers us to live fully despite it. By recognizing that the battles we carry are neither shameful nor indicative of inadequacy, we reclaim our narrative. The invisible struggles are no longer silent condemnations. They are testimonies of endurance, courage, and the inexhaustible capacity of the human spirit to confront what life imposes. By the end of this section, the audience is prepared to integrate this insight into their daily lives. They are encouraged to honor the invisible work they do, to cultivate self-compassion, and to recognize that true strength is often unrecognized by the world. The journey from burden to strength is not complete in a single moment, but the recognition of this truth transforms perception, allowing the unseen battles to be experienced as profound markers of human resilience. Understanding that you are not weak, but carrying battles no one sees, is only the beginning. The final step in this journey is integration, the process of taking this profound insight and weaving it into the fabric of daily existence. The revelation that hidden struggles are a testament to courage must transform the way we see ourselves, interact with others, and navigate the world. It is not enough to recognize strength in abstract. It must be lived, embodied, and practiced in every moment of life. The first act of integration is self-recognition. Each morning, As you rise to face the day, you carry not only physical responsibilities, but the invisible weight of your inner battles. Recognizing this allows you to approach life with gentleness rather than judgment. You may still feel anxiety, grief, or doubt, but these emotions no longer define you. They are experiences, not verdicts. Naming and acknowledging them is an act of courage itself. It transforms passive suffering into active understanding, and this awareness becomes a quiet foundation for resilience, a reminder that simply surviving and showing up each day is a form of victory in itself. Next comes the practice of self-compassion. The world is unforgiving. Expectations, comparisons, and societal pressures amplify the sense of inadequacy. Integration requires intentionally responding to yourself with the same patience, kindness, and understanding that you might extend to a friend navigating unseen struggles. Allow for pauses, rest, and forgiveness. Accept imperfection as part of being human. This is not resignation, it is liberation. You are permitted to carry what you carry, to feel what you feel, and to exist fully, despite the burdens you bear. Self-compassion transforms internal criticism into understanding and struggle into a quiet teacher, guiding you to a deeper appreciation of your resilience and courage. Integration also involves connecting internal insight to the external world. Recognizing your hidden battles cultivates empathy for others. The colleague who seems irritable may be silently enduring stress. The friend who withdraws may be carrying private sorrow. The parent who appears distant may be quietly wrestling with their own battles. This perspective fosters patience, kindness, and meaningful human connection. Understanding that endurance often exists beneath a fragile exterior reminds us that strength is not always visible, and that the struggles of every person deserve acknowledgement and respect. By seeing others through this lens, we cultivate a world more attuned to the hidden efforts each person invests in simply being. Practically, integrating this awareness may involve creating space for reflection, establishing healthy boundaries, or seeking supportive relationships. Engaging with your struggles consciously allows you to navigate life more effectively. Viktor Frankl emphasized that meaning is discovered through facing suffering, not avoiding it. By approaching your invisible battles with awareness, curiosity, and compassion, you transform them into sources of insight and growth. What once felt like weakness becomes a quiet form of courage, a testament to the human ability to endure, continue, and thrive despite unseen challenges. Every choice to persist, every act of self-care, every moment of patience with yourself and others is a victory of the human spirit. Integration also demands that we embrace life's paradoxes. You carry invisible battles, yet this does not diminish your worth. It defines your humanity. You may feel fragile, yet within this fragility lies courage that few can measure. Accepting this paradox is liberating. It frees you from the impossible expectation of perfection and allows you to exist authentically and courageously. The world may never fully witness the struggles you endure, and that is not the measure of their significance. What matters is your recognition, your engagement, and your transformation. By reframing struggle as evidence of strength, you claim ownership of your life and the narrative you are living. Your hidden battles are evidence of endurance, a quiet mark of courage, and a source of profound inner strength. Carry them consciously, embrace them without shame, and let them illuminate not weakness, but the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit. Let this understanding shape your actions, guide your relationships, and influence your perception of life itself. In acknowledging the invisible weight you bear, you honor yourself, your journey, and the silent heroism that exists within every human experience. Each day you rise, you demonstrate resilience. Each act of conscious living, despite unseen challenges, is a victory. The strength you cultivate in the hidden depths of your mind and heart is the truest form of heroism, a force that endures beyond recognition, applause, or validation.